I woke with a start. She likes pandas. The air in my room had gotten notably cooler, and I was shivering.
寝ちゃった。
Wrapping my eyes, I glanced at my clock. The needles indicated it was 6:45.
もうこんな時間。
It was black outside my window, streaked with lines from the still pouring rain.
明日は晴れるといいんだけど。
Sunny, for my exam. The weight of what the next day held for me came rushing into my mind. I'd practiced the interview process with my teachers quite thoroughly, but I was still really nervous.
そうだ。明日の用意しておかなくっちゃ。
There was still a little time before dinner. My mind swimming, I decided I'd take this opportunity to clean out all the notes and textbooks I wouldn't need tomorrow for my bag.
残しておくものは学生証でしょ。それからハンカチとティッシュ。受験票も忘れずに入れて、それからペンケース。あれ？嘘！ペンケースがない！学校に忘れてきちゃった。さーっと血の気が引いた。別に筆記用具で困ったわけじゃない。家にはいくらでも代わりがある。だけどあの中には司くんから借りた受験必勝鉛筆が入っているのだ。取ってこなくちゃ。お母さん、私ちょっと学校に忘れ物取りに行ってくる。
え？もうすぐご飯できるわよ。
すぐ戻るから。
そう。雨も降っているし、気をつけていくのよ。うん。
あの鉛筆は絶対に明日試験会場へ持っていかなければならないものの一つだった。だから私は迷うことなく学校に戻る道を選んだ。降りしきる雨の中、足元に気を配りながら全速力で走る。走っている間、ちらりと頭をよぎるのは起きた時の時間だった。6時45分。七不思議で語られていた時間は夜の7時。校門前に着いて真っ先に時間を確認した。校舎についている大時計が指し示す時間は6時55分。放課後の吉江さんの怪談話が再び頭をよぎる。10月、雨が降る放課後、夜7時。あのおばあちゃん、もしかしてこうなるのが分かっていて。やだな、もう。怪談なんてあんなの作り話だって。こみ上げてくる恐怖を抑えつけるために声を出して自分を叱咤する。見上げた校舎に人影はない。こんな時間なら生徒はもう帰宅しているだろうし、先生だってどれくらい残っているのか。けれど廊下の電気はまだ全てついていた。あれだけ明るければそこまで怖い思いをしなくても。よし、パッと行ってパッと済ましちゃおう。
I folded up my soaked umbrella and left it on the rack by the entrance, then changed into my indoor shoes. Then, entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around.
やっぱり生徒は誰も残ってないみたい。
My deep sigh echoed through the deathly silent corridor. Ordinarily, the din of other students would drown out noises like this, but every little sound was coming through crystal clear at this late hour.
急がなくちゃ。もうすぐ7時だ。
I quickly beelined toward classroom 3-4.
今朝のおばあさんね。さっき亡くなったみたい。
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。こういう日はよしえさんが出るんだって。天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていないよしえさんは如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
もう何考えてるのよ私。七不思議なんて司くんも言ってたじゃない。深く考えない方がいいって。
Lightning flashed and thunder resounded with impeccable timing. I jumped in spite of myself.
とにかくパッと教室に行ってペンケース取ってこなくちゃ。
No ghost should show up in a well-lit building like this, right? And even if they did, they wouldn't be very scary under all these bright lights.
あのペンケースに入ってる鉛筆は明日の試験にどうしても必要なの。だってあれは司くんがくれたお守りなんだもの。
I picked up the pace as I continued to head straight for room 3-4.
中等部の方はもう真っ暗だな。やっぱり誰もいないのね。それにしても今日はいつもよりこの廊下が長い感じがする。ただでさえこの廊下で遅刻しそうになるくらいなのに。
I continued my brisk walk down the impossibly long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and again whenever another thunderclap sounded. Kisaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was in the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it seem that much farther away.
いつもは賑やかな場所がこんなにも静まり返っていると余計に物寂しい気がするな。雨の音がやけに大きく聞こえるよ。
I was focusing on the scant few sounds around me as I paced down that long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a faint noise as of someone playing an organ.
今の空耳だよね。そうに決まってるよ。こんな時間に音楽室で楽器を鳴らす人なんているわけないし。
I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sounds of the rain, wind, and thunder mixing together. It just sounded like an organ, that's all. I was convinced. I kept walking. But then I heard the same noise again, this time much more clearly. It was unmistakable.
嘘。やだ。
I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding as if it were struggling to break free of someone's sinister grip.
きっとまだ吹奏楽部の子とか先生が残って弾いてるんだよね。そうだ、そうに決まってるよ。
Thinking about it, I vaguely recalled someone mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ would qualify? No. Somebody must have just stayed late to practice, that's all.
何でもかんでも怖い話に直結させちゃいけないな。
I took another deep breath and tried again to calm my overly jittery nerves.
怖いと思ったら何でも怖く思えるものだよね。
I heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can even make you see things that aren't there. And my imagination was most definitely running wild.
あとちょっとで教室だから走っていこう。
I decided to dash toward my classroom so I could get out of this hall as quickly as possible. Finally reaching that familiar door, I swiftly opened it and flicked on the lights.
やっとたどり着いたと。あとはペンケースを忘れないようにしなくちゃ。
Thanks to all my unexpected pauses to freak out over thunder and lightning, it took me far longer than it should have to get here. It was already well past 7.
7時か。
It was the appointed time when the ghost of a teacher was supposed to appear, at least, according to the school legend.
何もないじゃない。
I let out a sigh of relief and relaxed my shoulders a bit. The lights were on both inside the classroom and out in the hallway. Sure, it was still dead silent, but the fear I'd been feeling had completely melted away.
全然怖くないよ。やっぱり七不思議だなんて嘘だったんだな。
I grabbed the pen case I'd come back for and shoved it into my pocket.
よし、これで任務完了だね。
With my long ordeal behind me, more or less, I looked around the classroom and let out another sigh. I'd only ever known this classroom when it was bustling with activity, and thus found its eerie silence and utter stillness to be oddly fascinating.
教室に私一人ってなんだか不思議な感じがするな。
I got the idea in my head to try doing something I normally wouldn't be able to do, like standing at the teacher's podium and writing on the blackboard.
こんなシチュエーションめったにないし。
To me, the area behind that podium, from which teachers conduct their lessons, was like a sacred space. I dreamed of standing there myself one day, and could hardly resist its pull when presented with a rare opportunity like this.
今なら誰も見てないし。
To my classmates, this would seem like such a silly, stupid dilemma, but that didn't change the way I felt at that moment.
どうしようかな。
Alright, finally. We have an opportunity to save. This chapter is... I've been recording an hour and a half of just straight up dialogue. Alright. So let's move along.
よし、少しだけ先生の気分を味わっちゃえ。
I decided I had to try it. During daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times. But this was the first time I'd ever had an opportunity to just stand here and preside over the classroom.
そうか。先生からはこんな風に見えるんだ。教室って。なんかちょっとドキドキする。
Getting a teacher's point of view in the most literal sense was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This was where all my dreams would play out.
私もいつか。
I began to imagine the future that awaited me. Painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students sitting attentively at their desks. Gliding chalk across the board, filling it with information to aid them in their studies.
いつか先生になれるといいな。
I was getting so excited that even I began to think my behavior was a little strange. Maybe it was the juxtaposition of these joyous, freeing visions and the prickling dread I'd been feeling up until just a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other.
停電。
Suddenly, my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step. My back struck the blackboard with a dull thud.
いきなり何？
I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the eraser sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me.
しかもオルガンの音まだ響いてる。嘘、なんで？停電になってるならオルガンだって鳴らないはずなのに。行くな！
Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? That's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic as far as I was aware. How could she possibly have known this would happen? Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head.
落ち着くのよ、私。音楽室の方はまだ停電になってないとか、きっとそんな理由だよ。
I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself.
ともかく早く校舎を出よう。
I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. I'd spent so much time in here, you'd think I'd be able to find my way out of it with my eyes closed, as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked it on its side and began tumbling after it, instinctively grabbing at other desks around me for support.
いっいけない。机の中身まき散らしちゃったよ。元に戻さなくちゃ。
Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing
で
utensils.
も暗くて何がなんだか。もう何やってるのよ、急いでるのに。本当にドジなんだから。
I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing that a lot lately.
これは教科書とノートでしょ。
I was trying to take inventory of all the things I knocked out of the desk, then realized why. I might as well just stand it up and stuff it all back in.
さすがに全部を間違いなく元に戻すのは無理だな。明日ここの席の子に謝らなくちゃ。
Not that that was a particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out. That would be the same as lying, as far as I'm concerned. And I couldn't do that. Hey,
これで最後かな。
it's just a little white lie, won't hurt anyone. I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed. And I found something all right.
やだ、何これ。なんだかぬるぬるして。
I clearly brushed my fingers across something, but I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement, though that's for sure.
机の中からなんでブニュブニュしたものが。
Maybe it had been on the floor all along.
なんだろうこれ。
I rubbed my sticky fingertips on it a bit deeper into the wet spot, then brought my hand up close to my face so I could get a better look at what was there. What on earth did I just touch? Lick it. Lick it, Yui. There was a flash of lightning almost immediately joined by a roaring thunderclap. And with it, for a split second, the pitch-black classroom was lit up as bright as day.
ち？嘘！
I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I'd gotten a very good look at my fingers, and it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hand. No, if my peripheral vision were to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson.
そういえば、なんとなく生臭い気がする。
Without thinking, I backed away from where I'd been crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did something spill? Did someone stumble in here and here injured?
ありえない。そんな、何よこれ！
My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom. Or rather, I tried to flee.
開かない！やだ！やだ！鍵なんて ってなかったのに。今だって鍵はかかってないよ。それなのにどうして？
I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. I was pulling so hard, it felt like my fingernails might tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge.
なんでよ。
I was absent-mindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand and slammed my fist on a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare.
もう何これ。
Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart.
とにかく一度落ち着かないと。そもそもドアが開かないのだって私がこんなにパニックになってるせいかもしれないし、さっきの変な塊だってきっと何かの勘違いだよ。だってありえないじゃない、教室にあんなわけのわからないものが落ちてるだなんて。
I was certain that when I saw what it actually was, come morning, it ended up being something totally random, like someone's old soda-stained gym clothes.
そうだよ。そうだ。指についたのだって美術に使う絵の具かもしれないじゃない。
My imagination was just running wild because I was panicking.
もしかしたらドアに何かが挟まってて開かないだけかもしれない。
I decided to check out that hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks.
ダメだ。真っ暗で何にも見えない。
I fumbled around the gaps in the door, but I just couldn't make anything out that way.
他の出口は。
No, this was the third floor. I couldn't get out of here without exiting into the hallway.
今すぐ外に出たいのに。
Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window. But the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure of its source.
誰か歩いてくる。
Then there came the distinctive clump, clump, clump of footsteps.
そうだ、きっと用務員さんだ。
I recall the existence of a custodian who always patrolled the school grounds. I'm sure he was probably taking a look around after the sudden power outage.
助かった。
All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over.
すみません。
I shouted to the custodian at the top of my lungs through the window.
すみません。閉じ込められてるんです。
I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However,
なんかこの光おかしい気がする。
perturbed, I took a step away from the window.
懐中電灯だったらもっと明るいよね。この光はなんだか。
Like the faint, unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits, was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought, however. Dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way.
それにこの足音。
Clomp, 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 clomp. 4 clomps, then a 3 or so second interval, then another 4 clumps. They were sounding in a fixed rhythm.
用務員さんじゃない。明らかに変な歩き方。
The fear was back in full force. I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I'd accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever that was, I begged it for help. I literally invited it in.
どこか隠れるところ。そうだ。
Alright, another point to save. I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could.
なんなの。一体どうなってるの。
The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Clomp, 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 clomp. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end.
こ のまま通り過ぎてください。お願いします。
I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. Clump, 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 clump. They were close now. Very, very close.
神様。
Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I'd heard the ghost story of Yoshie and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now?
口から心臓が飛び出しちゃいそうだよ。
I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest of sounds escape and give away my position. Tap. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles. And it had ended right in front of this very classroom. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshie? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footstep sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshie, then she'd stopped in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but felt like at least an hour.
足音が消えた。
I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room, when suddenly... The footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. This was too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of tears and snot.
神様、助けて。
I was inconsolable with footsteps just wouldn't stop. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. What on earth were they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me.
やめて。もう、やめて。
I mouthed these words over and over again and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. And as if in response, the sound changed. It was a loud, dull thud, followed by silence. No more footsteps. I'd heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then what was it? What little safety I'd felt here was pretty much gone, but to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was or to make a break for it. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out as quietly as I could. But almost immediately, I felt something. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of the head. Or perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam, more like someone trying to get my attention.
木の棒。 これは指。
I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever this was. So I turned around. And there, looming over me, was...
まだ残ってるの。早く帰りなさい。
A figure was peering down at me from above the podium with one emaciated wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it, this was the strange old woman who'd supposedly passed away earlier. I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way out from under the podium and shot to my feet. A ghost. There really was a ghost in this school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go.
どうしたの？
There in the open doorway was the same old woman, emitting a bluish-white glow. This was the source of the light I'd seen through the window earlier. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate and tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted about the room. I needed to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could.
前のドアから出られないとなると、外に出るには後ろのドアから出るしか。でもそうすると廊下は前のドアにいるあの幽霊の後ろを通らないと出口には着かない。そんなの無理。でも
I bit my lip and continued scanning the room.
何かあれに対抗できるようなものがあればいいんだけど。
I didn't have time to think carefully about it. I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Oh,
これって科学の実験の時に使った
looks like leftovers.
残りだよね。
I heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice.
よし、これを持っていこう。
I placed the salt in my pocket as a sort of protective charm.
怖いけど行くしかない。
When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the door frame. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced. This had to be Yoshie, the teacher from that urban legend.
やだ、そんなの。
Bracing myself, I darted towards the door at the back end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. I thrust my hand into my pocket and withdrew the bag of salt, then threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. I ran down the hall as fast as my legs would carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder after a moment to confirm that the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached the stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the windowed door leading outside. Luckily, The malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this.
やっとここまで。
I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it.
やだやだ開かない。なんでどうしてここまで来て。どうして開いてよ開いてよ。どうしようこのままじゃまたあの化け物に。なんとかしなくちゃ。なんとか。仕方がない。別の場所に行くしか。
Or maybe I could hide somewhere and throw Yoshi off my trail. I had no particular destination in mind. My only thought was anywhere but here. After maybe 30 seconds, I found myself in the second floor hallway. There was an outside corridor connecting the two buildings of the school there, and it was the first alternate escape route that came to mind. Naturally, it was walled off from the outside for safety purposes, but the wall wasn't so big that I couldn't scale it in a pinch. I didn't really want to jump from the second floor of the school, but if I had to, I was confident that I had at least survived this fall with minimal injury.
隠れよう。
I climbed the wall faster than I thought possible and dropped down to the narrow ledge on the other side. It was just wide enough to sit down. My back was to the hallway, but my location should have been completely hidden from anyone inside the school. I looked down at the muddy ground below me. I really couldn't see much, though. The outside was completely dark. It was so dark that it felt almost like the whole world had been draped in a black veil.
ここで隠れて朝を待とうか。逃げててもきっといつか捕まるよ。
I opened the pen case in my pocket and pulled out the pencil I received from Tsukasa.
お願い。
Was I really treating this stubby little pencil as a protective charm? Tsukasa said it would guarantee success in my test, not ward off evil spirits. Still, it was better than nothing. I clutched it tightly in my hands and prayed.
私を守って。
I whispered the words so quietly that I might as well have been mouthing them, but that seemed to be all the opening that damned spirit needed. I sensed a presence on the ledge with me, and was so startled that I almost fell from my perch.
やめてよおばあちゃん。どうして。
However, I could only sense her there. I didn't actually see her, and thought for one brief moment that maybe I was letting my imagination run wild. But then I felt the horrible sensation of something coiling itself around my arm.
外は行けませんよ。
Before I knew it, a tall, shadowy figure had half emerged from the wall behind me, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right on the bone.
なんなの。誰なの。
どこに少しだから。
痛い。
I was shaking hysterically and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced that I was going to die here.
離して。
I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her.
やめて。痛いよ。
I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment.
ずーっと一緒にいましょうね。
She wasn't just grabbing but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. Stopping had become my first and only priority. I struggled violently against the spirit's grip, ultimately breaking free by throwing my body off the wall toward the unseen earth below. In the face of death, everything really does seem to slow down. I'd read somewhere that this is because the brain is sending out all kinds of distress signals or something. Slow motion or not, though, I was fully aware of my surroundings. I was cascading through the air just outside my school building. And we want to save. I was pretty sure this fall would kill me. With a controlled jump, I might have been able to survive, but I was tumbling like a rag doll. I was a goner. I couldn't even remember what you were supposed to do in a situation like this. Try to flip over? Brace for impact? In one last-ditch attempt at survival, I stretched out both my arms and maybe somebody would be waiting there to grab them. Maybe somebody would save me. And somebody actually did. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I really thought there was no hope. But then at the last second, I was yanked to safety.
大丈夫か？つかめ、俺の腕。
I held onto his arms with all my might, and against seemingly impossible odds, I was pulled in. My life was saved. This was like a scene out of some anime. It shouldn't have happened. It was too convenient, but I wasn't about to complain.
よく頑張ったな。
どうして司くん。
今はシノゴの言ってる場合じゃない。逃げるぞ。
Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after coming to my rescue. He took off down the hall, back into the heart of the school with me in tow.
そう、なんだよさっきのは。俺は夢でも見てるのか。
He practically spit these words as he continued running.
どうしてここに司くんが。
I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. He was fast. After we'd reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him.
シシド、お前怪我はないか？
大丈夫。私はもう一人で歩けるから。
ああ、悪い。
I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards.
おい、大丈夫じゃないじゃん。
そうだけど、でもすぐに。
無理すんなよ。
Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshi had been twisting.
悪い。やっぱり腕怪我してるのか？
よくわかんない。でもすっごく痛いよ。焼けるみたい。
I draped my other hand over the sore spot, where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all.
そうか。じゃあ保健室ですぐに手当てした方がいいな。
でもそしたらまた。
あいつが来るって。
Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshi made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea.
心配すんな。もし仮にあいつが来ても、俺が絶対お前を守ってやるから。な。
司くん。
Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing, or try to at any rate.
怪我は一刻も早く手当てした方がいいって。まあどうせ先生なんかいないだろうけど、応急手当てくらいなら俺にだってできる。よし、行くぞ。
Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back out into the hallway.
司くんの手、あったかい。
Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I'd been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up, but with Tsukasa leading the way, I felt like I could do anything.
シシド、少し走るけど大丈夫か？
With my blessing, Tsukasa upped his pace significantly.
もうあいつが出てきませんように。
I prayed silently for smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead.
このまま司くんと一緒にいられれば安心。
I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshie was gone, maybe we'd thwarted her. But of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again.
なんだってんだ。出てこい。
An unearthly voice reverberated throughout the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's back.
もっと連れてこい。
Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us.
大丈夫。落ち着け。
The ghost was moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it.
私のために何でもしてくれる。
おい、シシド。俺があいつを引きつけるから、その隙に走って逃げろ。
やだよ、一緒に逃げて。
俺には秘密兵器があるのさ。
え？
俺のばあさんからもらった形見のお守り。さっきあいつにこれを向けたら少し割りやがった。
形見のお守り？
あ
あ。でも司くんやっぱり危険。
俺？まあなんとかなるだろう。
そんな。
待ちなさい。
We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall young woman with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. The tale of Yoshie suggests she fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit.
早く走れ！
He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to object, I unconsciously obliged. Tsukasa ran too, darting ahead of me for a few short moments.
おい、化け物！こっちだ！
待ちなさい。
Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshie's attention, then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction.
こっちだぞ！ 化け物!
Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstructed.
どうしよう。私このまま一人逃げてもいいの？
I was torn. On the one hand, I knew this was my best chance, but I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit.
司くん、お守り出して！危ないよ！
いいから行けって！お前が逃げ切ったのを確認したら俺も逃げるからさ！
I still can't believe I fell for it, but this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made that up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as decoy while I got away.
やっぱりダメ！
I stopped in my tracks and shouted out at the top of my lungs.
待ちなさい！ヨシエ先生！
I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something, and calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect.
あなたの名前知ってるわよ！
おい、シシド!
All at once, the black figure was facing me, though I never saw her turn around. She is flying toward me now, ignoring Tsukasa.
怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない！
I repeated this like a sutra and stuck one hand into my pocket, grasping tightly onto the one and only item I'd stashed there.
お前は私を知っているのか。
私には本当にお守りがある。
Tsukasa's care, his effort, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. And when you get right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed the nubby little thing in my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I'd impulsively initiated.
シスト逃げろ。
逃げない。私は逃げないわ。神様、どうかお願い。助けて。
I closed my eyes, lifted my hand from my pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith into this, and I really, really hoped I hadn't made a mistake in doing so.
私は獅子のゆい。この学校で先生を目指しているわ。
I opened my eyes to find that the shadowy spirit, Yoshi, had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping this vengeful soul at bay?
私の代わりはいらない。
Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling.
シシド
I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose, even though he knew he'd never reach. I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he could get away, if he could survive this ordeal, then it would all have been worth it. Yoshi was drawing near, and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt at Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then, all at once, the situation took a complete 180. It was like a miracle.
篠崎よしそこまでにせい
Before I had any idea what was happening, I found myself bathed in a gentle light.
おばあちゃん。
守ってやれんですまんなせめてこれ以上邪術が拡大せぬこと。
It was the old woman who had collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. The black shadow lunged toward her. Then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone.
シスト
And just like that, I fell to the ground. Whatever Yoshi had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshi's spirit was gone. She'd vanished along with the light. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof.
おいシストシスト
司くん。
I'd suffered quite a bump on the head from my fall and was decidedly disoriented. But I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck.
バカ逃げろって言ったのに。
ごめん。でも。
I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you, is what I wanted to say. But instead, I just passed out in his arms.